Hello, I'm Karen Whiting. I'm an author and I love doing crafts. I hope you do too, because I have some fun for us to do. And the only pattern is your hand or someone else's, because we're just going to trace our hands to make paper cutouts of hands in all types of flesh colors. Now, I like to use cardstock because it's a little bit sturdier and it will last longer, but you can really use any type of paper for this one. And you can use lots of flesh colored papers. I even take a white one and I add on freckles because I'm freckled everywhere. And if you have a cut or anything, you can even draw the little cut where it is on your hand. If you don't have colored paper of flesh colors, just take out your crayons from your crayon box and find the flesh colored ones you want to use. That will be fine too. Just color that paper. I color that back and forth until I have enough. Then I cut out my hand. Now, if it's hard for you to cut all these little fingers out on the hands, and that can be if you're younger, then just take your hand, put it on the paper, and trace around your fingers. Your hand's going to be smaller than mine. And the thumb. So it looks more like a mitten there. And you can cut that out. And when you cut out your mitten, I'm just going to go ahead and quickly cut this mitten out. You can still make some fingers from it. So we're just going to cut out the hand part and then cut out the thumb part. And now that I have that cut out, I can just draw some lines here. If I draw 3 lines, and it's hard to see those lines, but I do have lines there. If I draw 3 lines and just cut straight down on those lines, you know what? I will have 4 fingers, and it'll be just fine. So that's one way to get your fingers without having to take so much time cutting out the hand this way. Now, once you've done that, these are puzzle pieces, sort of like a tangram that you can put together and make shapes. So if I were to take a few of these pieces of different colors, I could make it into a cross. I might actually want to have another one up here to make that cross a little bit higher in one direction. And that's really fun to do. But there's lots of ways you can do that. So we have the cross, and when you do the cross, you know, it reminds me of 2 Corinthians 5:13, where it tells us that Jesus died for everyone. He didn't just die for me and you, but everyone. And so you can do that cross and let your friends know that. Then I think this is a lot of fun. Separate the colors out and make a rainbow. You know, God put the rainbow in the sky for Noah as a promise, but that promise is also for everyone. You can read Genesis 9:13-16 to remember those promises, and then line up that beautiful rainbow from the hands. Now, another one you can do is just a big circle or wreath. All right, and I think of the circle as, well, the wreath shape, of course, is a Christmas shape that reminds us of God's love that's like a ring, that's eternal, has no beginning and no ending. But the circle shape can also remind us of Luke 2:14, when the angels came at the birth of Jesus and sang peace to men of goodwill, that we all want to have peace. And so think about ways to have peace. Make a big circle with all those hands, either have them facing in or facing out. They can face out to reach out to others, to bring peace to everyone. They can face in as though you're holding hands because you want to hold hands in peace and love with one another. Another shape you can do is a heart shape, and I'm not sure how easy you can see the shape of the heart, so I'm going to draw the heart within these hands and hold that up again so you can see that heart shape there. And that heart reminds me of John 3:16, for God so loved the world, and most of you can say this out loud, that he gave his only son, so that whoever believes in him will not die but will have life everlasting. That's what we want everyone to have. And best way to be kind and show love to someone is to share how they can go to heaven. And another thing to do, and this one I'm going to put a line on also so you can see that shape, is the shape of a fish. Okay, the fish is an early Christian sign. The letters in the Greek for fish also spell out Christ. And that reminds us to be fishers of men. In fact, in Matthew 4:19, God called his first disciples to be fishers of men, but he needs more disciples. He needs you and me to be disciples too. And that is such a wonderful thing to be able to do. So remember, for this, what do you need? Scissors, paper, colored or crayons with the paper, and your hand or someone else's hand. And you can make this and make up all types of ways. In fact, you could take and make a long, long roadway with all of these hands along the floor to remind you that we are on a path of life with God. He's always with us wherever we go. Or to remind us that we need to go as far as we can to share God's love and God's word with other people. So thank you so much for joining me today, and have fun with these hands.